G'day, folks. It's the 8th of August 2026, and George, here I am again, giving you another episode of Message of Hope. In fact, put in a comment if this has happened to you. That is its launch date and a client's website going live in a few hours. For me, I couldn't get into Cloudflare to make the final change. Bit of technical jargon there, guys, I know, but bear with me. Now, not because I didn't know how I can log in, but because I needed an access code, and the access code only comes through my colleague's phone. You see, my workplace never gave me one of my own, even though it's requirement of work to have access to the system. So I waited, checked my messages, waited some more. The site sat there half finished on a day it couldn't afford to. Just got to wait for my colleague to come back to me. Now, I'll admit something up front. So let's do it. I could have solved this in about maybe 4 seconds by installing another work app on my personal phone. Yeah, great, another app the world needs, eh? But I didn't. Yep. Now, call it principle or call it stubbornness, if you like. My wife has another word for it, of course. But I like keeping my phone as my phone and not a second office I carry into bed with me. I wouldn't want to do that. Would not. Now, that stains come up against on a recent shift. The chef wanted every meal photographed and uploaded straight to Teams. That was last night's shift, in fact. Every single one of them, okay? I told him honestly, I say, my friend, no reception down here in the basement, no Wi-Fi access, and a phone that wouldn't run the app well, even though I had one. He didn't believe me. We walked out to the open area himself. I tried on my phone for about 3 minutes, right? I don't have those high-spec phones. Of course, we couldn't get anywhere with it, and he gave up. He said, okay, handed it to the colleague who usually does it anyway. He would upload the photos. So it turns out he saw the exact problem I described to him. He watched it happen with his own hands, did it himself, and he still walked away without fixing a thing. Isn't that interesting, guys? So let me tell you a story about Ian Camlet. He knows that feeling far better than I do, I would say. He's 77 years old, from Sydney, and he was locked out of his Facebook account since June of this year. So it's been close to 2 months or more. Not one human being able to speak about it he was able to talk to. Just an endless loop of AI links and bots that leads to nowhere. You see the frustration? He had decades of friends scattered across different countries, and they were all gone behind a wall he couldn't find a door in it. Yeah. So here's the thing that connects both of us. All right? Even though his situation is far worse than mine. I'll put it that way. A system can lock you out and simply not answer for it. Put in your comments there if that has happened to you. I mean, there's no manager to escalate. No person is actually accountable. You're just outside looking to it, right? There's a promise that stands against exactly that. That's the good bit. You'll find it in Hebrews chapter 13, verse 5. It says, I will never leave you nor forsake you. Words of comfort there. Now, I've got to explain in context that verse wasn't written about technology. Yeah, it sits in a passage about contentment, about not chasing money, not being anxious for more, because of what God has already said He'll do. He'll be with us. I love that. But the principle underneath it reaches further than its original setting, I feel. And I think it's earned it here. Because look at what it actually promises. Again, I'll say it, not I'll leave if you break the rules, not I'll leave if there's an outage. It never said that. No update revokes it. No policy change quietly switches it off while you're not looking. Okay? Now that's not a bigger tech company. That's an entirely different kind of relationship I'm talking about. So, if today's video is doing anything for you, please do one thing before you go. Hit that subscribe button. Not because the algorithm needs it, or maybe it needs it, but because I genuinely like you to be back tomorrow. Yeah, hope my video will be genuinely helpful to you. So, about 2 Decembers ago, and about 2 weeks before the office closed for Christmas, as you know, I worked at a real estate software company. I'm not going to mention her name. The place had that particular quiet a workplace gets in the last fortnight of the year, right? It's quiet in some ways, less work, but people were just chatty. Everyone is half checked out already. There were just decorations in the office, people coming down finally, having conversations. And the conversation already drifting towards what are you doing on holidays? Well, there was a colleague that I really like. His name is Sean. In the middle of all that, I gave him a card, a handwritten card. I think I even put a Bible verse inside it. I honestly can't remember which one, if I did, and I might even tucked in a gospel tract inside it. Yeah. So Sean was his name, and Sean told me afterwards he hadn't received a Christmas card in years, a physical one. So he's going to put it on his mantle, and he said he's going to show it to his family. Yeah. So nothing like social media, not like, not view, not swipe past in the 4 seconds and get forgotten. No, it gets to be sitting on a shelf in his house, and I think he's still there after everyone had gone back to work. That's nice of you, Sean. And that's what I want you to do this week. Not necessarily a message or a text. Maybe you can write something, yeah. One card, one letter to one specific person and just hand it to them or post it to them even. And let it exist somewhere that isn't a computer server sitting in the cloud. No. Ian Cameron is still locked out of everything he built on Facebook over the decades. I don't know if it's ever been resolved, his problem. Because he had no warnings, no ways to get back in. But hey, the card I gave to Sean, I'm pretty sure it's still in his house. Now, which one do you think is still standing in 10 years' time? And that's today's message of hope. Thanks for listening. Whoop. I hope to see you soon. You take care. Don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and share it with your friends. See you later. Bye-bye.